The horizon. One evening, a young man climbed a hill to visit an old master. He had spent years chasing success, more money, more recognition, more love, and still something was missing. When he reached the master's small home, he asked, "Master, I have worked hard for everything. Yet, no matter what I gain, I still feel incomplete. Tell me, what must I do to have enough and finally rest in myself?" The master sat quietly outside, watching the sun sink behind the mountains. Silence stretched on for so long that the young man believed no answer would come. Then, just as he had abandoned the thought, the master smiled and said, "Let me tell you a story. Once there was a boy who grew up beside the sea. Every evening, he would sit on the shore and stare at the horizon, that distant line where the sky touched the water. It seemed magical. He thought, if I can just reach that place. But it seemed so far away. He would have to cross the ocean and beyond to reach such place. So every day he looked at it, and slowly he became obsessed with reaching that place. So, when he became older, he built himself a small boat and began to sail. He crossed familiar waters and left the shore far behind. But no matter how far he traveled, the horizon remained distant. Still, he refused to stop. He told himself, "I will reach it." And he sailed farther, crossed storms and monsoons. Sometimes, dolphins swam beside his boat. Sometimes the sea became still as glass. Sometimes the sky burned with colors no words could hold. But his eyes remained fixed in the distance. Days became months, months became years. Yet the horizon kept moving. One evening he was so exhausted that he sat quiet for a moment. And then, suddenly, a fish leaped from the water, landing inside his boat. He stared at it, startled. For a brief moment, the fish struggled, out of place, out of breath. Then, with a swift movement, it jumped back into the sea and disappeared. And that was when one idea struck him. In that moment, he understood. The horizon is not a place, it is a way of seeing. He had been chasing enough while standing in the middle of everything, trying to arrive at a place he had never left. He was like a fish searching for the ocean. After speaking, the master fell silent once more. The young man lifted his eyes toward the distance. Together, they watched the last light dissolve behind the mountains. Slowly night arrived, and with it, the horizon disappeared. The young man smiled quietly to himself. He understood that the horizon is not something to possess, but something that keeps life moving. And in that moment, he arrived at a place within himself he would never leave again.